Hello again. Rishi Sunak has insisted he is not to blame for the lack of funding of a school rebuild programme during his time as Chancellor. It comes as the concrete crisis continues to affect schools across the country, with some pupils returning to school today and facing the prospect of online learning. Well, joining me now is maths teacher Bobby Seagull. Bobby, great to have you on the programme. First day back, of course, for many youngsters today, and for some, it's not a great start.
Yeah, again, I feel really sorry for the students because we know as a nation for the past few years we've had COVID disruption, strikes. So it's been challenging for a young person. And now to add on to that, there are certain students across the country who might be entering a school where they've got a lot of uncertainty about will they still be in their school, will they be in temporary porter cabins? And a lot of sympathy for students. But again, rightly, there'll be some anger towards those in power in terms of could things have been done earlier about this.
Has your school, places you teach, been affected, or places where your colleagues teach?
So fortunately, my school, we are a relatively new build, post 2014-15. So we are very fortunate that all our students will be able to learn as normal. But I have had friends, peers, teachers at other schools who have a lot of uncertainty because they've got older buildings from the 70s, 80s, 90s with that aerated concrete. And for them, they're just not sure what to do because it sort of wasn't a surprise because they knew that schools had potential issues, but the government's only issued their sort of guidance last Thursday in terms of, yes, you need to take extra precautions. It was that last minute notice that's made things really challenging for my friends who are senior leaders and head teachers.
Yeah, do you think there's a danger that we could be turning this into a huge crisis, which perhaps it isn't? The Prime Minister saying today 95% of schools, and there are more than 22,000 schools in England, haven't been affected. And of those 5,000, those 5% that potentially have, many have had mitigation measures already put in place.
And of course, it's good to hear that the majority should be fine, but all it takes is for one tragedy, one beam, one disaster in a school, and then the whole mood will change. And then there'll be accusations of the government, why didn't you resolve this earlier, why didn't you remove them from the classrooms, are unsafe. So ultimately, we can't have educators, teachers, students, our children being in classrooms that are unsafe. So even though 95%, I'm a maths teacher, 95% sounds great, but if that means 5%, 2%, that is far too high for the number of students being in potentially harmful situations.
What's your experience of the fabric of schools that you've taught in? Do you feel that more work needs to be done bringing them up to scratch?
I think generally, again, the nature of building is we build something, it's great then for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, but it needs repair and maintenance. So I think what we've seen is many schools, especially since austerity, it's been more challenging to find budget to make sure schools are maintained. So even if, again, my school is a really lovely, well-designed school, but over the next few years, we will need repair and maintenance. So again, governments have got to think where they allocate their budgets, obviously towards the teachers, but also making sure that we have places that are fit and proper to teach in.
And just finally, Bobby, as someone with a huge amount of experience in the sector, when you hear the words online learning, your heart must sink like the hearts of so many parents.
Oh, gosh, yeah. I mean, there's definitely a beauty about learning online. It can be a complementary way, but ultimately for young people, being in the class with their teacher is the best way of being educated.
Yeah, well said. Good to speak to you and get your thoughts. Bobby Seagull, teacher there. Thank you.